And we welcome you back again to the Shawn Witten Coaches Show. Thanks for being with us again. Another great week of high school football finishing up with Greenville, getting ready for the Sullivan South Rebels coming to town again on Friday night. Coach, an electric atmosphere last Friday night. Didn't end the way we wanted it to, 24-10. Love to see another chance, the Greenville Green Devils, but last Friday night, I mean, it was electric at Citizens Bank
It was
Stadium.
great, Tom. It was unbelievable atmosphere. It was an awesome crowd. Two great football teams going at each other, and our kids came ready to play. Our kids gave a tremendous effort. We did the things that we talked about for a long period of time, and we just came up on the short end. But we're excited about the progress we've made. We're a completely different team than we were 8 weeks ago. We had a great opportunity ahead of us to play the number one team in the state 4A, and maybe one of the better teams regardless of classification. So we knew Greenville was going to be a challenge. They're well coached. They're a physical football team. We knew it was going to be tough, but we had some opportunities early that we didn't take advantage of, and we hope that this can give us a lot of confidence moving forward.
We had a rock star in attendance on Friday night. I tell you what, this guy, everywhere he went, it was really cool because I saw little kids taking their shoes off and having him sign their shoes, which I thought was cool. Had some adults get some autographs too, so it was kind of an extra buzz when the big guy was in town.
Well, yeah, it's actually a little bit of surprise, and just being didn't even realize it's the Cowboys Open week, but to pop in and a big game, and then he went down to Knoxville on Saturday, and he's got a lot of things going on that way. But it was great to see him come in, and I mean, it's a great opportunity to show his support and be here in a big game, and it still shows how much he really cares about Elizabethton and how much he really continues to keep up with our kids.
On a personal note, I'm standing by for the team at halftime. Of course, a little bit dark back there where they are, and this big, huge guy comes and says, "Hello, I'm Jason Witten." I thought, well, that's pretty cool because a lot of guys, you got to go to them. And he went around and he said, "Who are you?" And I introduced myself. He said, "I'm Jason Witten." I thought, that's pretty classy right there. So the rock star was in attendance. He saw a good football game. What did he have to say about the
Well, it
Cyclones?
was a great first half, and we our kids executed the game plan. Really wanted to shorten the game plan. Make it simple. We wanted to play the first half and get out there. Especially, we'll talk about it later, but we had some guys playing both ways. So we wanted to limit the number of plays that they had to play the first half. We wanted to really get the game in the second half. I thought our kids executed the game plan almost to perfection early on. Our Corey Russell was extremely tough running the football. Both teams had about less than 30 plays in the first half, and so we really did a great job of just coming out ready to play. We executed some assignments. We had the ball twice inside the 5 yard line with the chance to score, and so we just yeah. And how many people would have thought that score would have been 3-3 at the half? A lot of people expect it to be a high scoring game or whatever it might be. But it's two great defenses battling. We made the most of our opportunities. Our kids came ready to play, and the second half just kind of got away from us.
Well, before we go any further, I got to tell you, because I was on the sideline, a number five took some hits. Holy smokes. They hammered him and hammered him. He got back up. He's a tough kid.
Well, Corey's just like a 240-pound back. He runs extremely hard. We had to do some things to kind of keep him off guard. We did a little direct snap to Corey and let him try to get up there behind our bigs and kind of push the pile a little bit. We had some things that just had to you got to go with what you got, and we felt that if we could shift Carter back a little bit and give him about 6 yard depth to be able to throw the ball, because they're extremely good up front, and they had two great pass rushers at the defensive end spots and then shift Corey up where he could get the ball quicker, and not have to worry about the exchange from the handoff, and maybe we could get a good push. And the thing is too, when you got Jared Grindstaff, Cujo, we brought Chandler Mullins over. We inserted Joseph Keckner at the center position and moved guys around. Then we brought a quick lineman in to kind of quick trap them some to keep them off balance a little bit. I think that kind of helped our advantage a little bit. And then, even though those guys are big guys like Cujo, they haven't played a lot of offensive line. So, when you go block people, it's different than taking on them. So, we felt that we could just get a good enough push that Corey's just, even as small as he is, he can kind of slide through there and do a lot of great things. So, a guy that rushed for the 21 carries and about 60 yards, man, he was as tough as it gets on Friday night.
And also, before we go to the highlights, we got to say, in defense of Carter, he was not 100% Friday night.
Well, he wasn't. He's had a I mean, everybody knows that when he was in eighth grade, he had an ACL surgery. That's what kept him back in eighth grade 2 years. And then, it's just, sometimes it's just a nagging injury. So, we felt like, though, that if we could put him back at 6 yards, he does have a great strong arm. And then we knew that our intermediate passing game was going to come up big. They started the game off doubling Ryan and trying to take him away. So we knew that we're going to have to try to hit some deep crossers and execute some routes that way. So be able to back him up to give him an extra second to be able to throw the ball, we felt like that was going to be key for us. And then when you play against Greenville, in their front four, you can't sustain those blocks long. And I felt that if we could do some creative things and pull Cujo and those big guys, pull those quick guards, and try to hit it up there and quick, that we could sustain the clock. And that's what we did the first half. I mean, we really did a great job of shortening the game, and we knew that we couldn't wear down our bigs early on because we knew that we had to get them to the fourth quarter. And we made some opportunities. We had some plays that we talked on here all year long that the fade route to Ryan has been our bread and butter play, and we threw it 5 times and just couldn't get it executed. And we had some things that we hang our hat on all year long that just haven't gone our way. So we just we put our best foot forward, like we talked about. Our kids were really on top of it. We couldn't ask for a better effort and better focus. Our defensive game plan was superb. I thought we put a lot of pressure on Cade to running the football. We forced them to have some bad snaps. We took away the deep ball. I thought it was the best our secondaries played all year long in tackling. And, I think that, we just couldn't ask for a better effort from our young men.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights again. We're talking to, of course, Coach Shawn Witten here on the Shawn Witten Coaches Show. So let's, Coach, bring up these highlights, and let's start with Corey Russell and see what we got going on here for Corey and see what's happening here. And let's see if we can't get him on this particular play. Tell us what's going on with this one here. Well, we just lost it, and I apologize for that. Let's bring it back up, and that's what happens. See, this is what happens when old country boy hits the wrong buttons. So we'll hit it right here, and we will.
Well, this is one of the creative things we did with Corey, being able to shift Corey up, is ability to have both of these guys throw the football. Corey does have a quick release. He is a baseball kid. He throws extremely well. But when you snap it to Corey directly, they think he's going to run it, and it forces the outside linebacker to come up, and we're able to throw the ball and get a great first down. So that was some of the things we tried to do to keep him off. And Carter's, you mentioned Carter's a little bit of a nagging injury. His movement wasn't great, so we backed him up in the pocket to be able to throw the ball downfield. We used Corey to try to get an outside. Greenville's really tough to run the ball anyway, but running the ball outside is extremely tough because you just got people out there in space. It's tough to defend. So we did like a little bit of a run pass option where we snapped it to Corey, and we were able to get him out there. If that linebacker comes to take Corey, he dumps it. If they take the pass, then he takes off and run it. So it was good work by our offense coordinator Jeff Pierce. Doing a good job of trying to keep him off balance.
Yeah, the first pass we just saw was a nice pass on a rollout by Corey to Zach Hartley, who got up the field, made a little spin move, got some extra yardage. I thought that was a pretty nice little catch for a sophomore.
Well, it's big. I thought our receivers all game long did a great job of, really making plays. We didn't have any drop balls. We made contestant throws. We did contestant catches. We knew that when we made those catches, we were going to get hit. I thought we had some great catches across the middle. We had some tough catches, and our guys really did a great job of throwing and catching the football.
Here's our next highlight. Here's Carter. Let's see what we got going here. A 17-yard pass, as you see on the screen, thanks to Huddle to Keelan Hall.
Well, this is a deep crossing route by the outside receiver. Keelan's at the top of your screen. He's going to run a square in. It's just a great job of catching the ball, tucking it, getting upfield, and getting the ball inside the 5-yard line. That's a big play for us. Keelan's really come on the last couple of weeks. We talked about him, but when they double team Ryan, you got to have other guys step up. And we didn't anticipate them double teaming Ryan, but I think it's a credit to Ryan and how hard he's worked and the season he's having. And when other guys got to step up. And then Keelan had a great game for us. And we talked about catching the ball across the middle. You got to be able to execute those plays in big games, and I thought we did that.
Of course, in his for Keelan Hall, he looked the ball into him, and of course he was in traffic and made that catch. A great concentration for Keelan.
Well, we worked on that during practice over the last couple of weeks, where a lot of times you can catch the ball tight, turn it up, and get yards after the catch. But when you play a team like Greenville, it's a lot like playing a team like Alcoa. There's not going to be a whole lot of room to to actually catch it and turn it up. You got to be able to catch it, tuck it in, and be ready to take the hits. And our guys did that. They really focused. I'm extremely proud of that group because a lot of those guys play in the secondary and the receiving core. And you get in some games where you can catch it, tight turning and make a lot of runs. And we just knew that we had to catch the ball and make completions, get first downs. And I like the ability to get the ball inside the 5 yard line too. Throwing the ball in the red zone is obviously sometimes tough too. And we executed those pass routes to perfection.
Catch some more highlights here. This is a 38-yard pass to Evan Perkins.
Well, this is a double post play we put in for Ryan and Evan Perkins. We're basically reading the top safety here, number 21. Carter could basically throw to either one. Is threading the needle there. Is a great execution. We kid on Perkins. You get the short man syndrome right there. Just so small, tiny legs there. Just great job though. I mean, 21's a tough safety. He's one of the better safeties in the league, and it was a great execution to be able to get that double post in and to thread the needle. So it really, all game long our receivers came up big. And you talk about there's another receiver too. They were playing over the top of Ryan several times. We weren't going to let Ryan get the deep ball, and the ability to make those throws underneath. That was a great momentum change for us. And like we said, Tom, we got the ball down there twice in the first half with a chance to go up 14 points. Minimum we should have walked away with 10 points. We settled for 3. So we gained a lot of confidence. If anything else, we proved ourselves that hey, we can do this, and if we correct our mistakes and get our heads. And the thing I like about us, Tom, is we're still scratching the surface. I mean, we still don't know how good we can be,
right.
And I think we're just hopefully we got a lot weeks left to play.
A lot of gas in the tank.
Yes,
right?
we do.
All right, let's try this in Jackson Holly.
Well, this is a great kick by Jackson. We had the ball we took a delay of the game to move the ball back. This is our second field goal attempt down there. This is really a terrible angle, to really kick from, but it was great execution. Jackson's a gamer. He's been in some situations as a freshman a year ago, and fortunately, I think he nailed that field goal for us. That was a big tied the game up 3-3.
Here's a 13-yard pass from Carter to Ryan Wetzel.
This is the same type square in to Ryan here. We got the tight end releasing vertical. We got Evan on a quick out, and then we got Ryan trying to run a deep square in on 23 and 21. Just great execution right here. Same thing, be able to catch the ball and take the hit. That's a big first down, big pass play for us. But you saw right there too the ability to create some separation from the line of scrimmage. With Carter being back there deep to be able to step in and make those throws, I think that helped us out tremendously.
Yeah, and he threaded the needle there in traffic. Had 3 guys in the area, and so great throw, great catch, great concentration. You can tell these guys have worked with each other all summer long. Let's pick up another highlight here on the Shawn Witten Coaches Show. This is 11-yard pass to Evan, obviously.
This is another good play here. Just great execution by our guys. Great pass protection all night long. Just to be able to get here. Great concentration. Be able to make that catch. Evan made 2 catches that were behind him. He's just got great hands. He's a great receiver, and those ended up being great plays for us.
So I'm going to preface this next touchdown play and this next run. If you don't think Corey Russell has God-given ability, watch how he spins out of this defender and watch how he throws his ball off his right foot. This shows that the kid, you can tell he's played some baseball somewhere along the line, obviously, for the Cyclones, the way he throws this ball. So this is a really cool play.
Well, this is a play late in the game that we just, credit to our guys just continue to play, but we snapped it to Corey and he rolled deep behind Carter, just kind of get some more depth, to create some time, the ability to extend the play right here. We had a deep corner out there just to be able to make things happen. And, those are the plays that we're accustomed to seeing from Corey, and, when he's healthy and, there's no doubt he's an unbelievable athlete and he's got a lot of things he can do. And that's, in big games, you want the ball in his hands because he can make a lot of things happen before you run and throwing it. Our guys got a lot of confidence in him, and like we mentioned before, he's a gamer. Tom, he's just, in big games, you want the ball in his hands. Like we said, he carried it 21 times, probably the toughest 60 yards anybody's ever gained. We talked about the hits he's taken all year long, and the patience he's had behind our offensive line, and then when you bring those bigs over on offensive line to be able to try to, be patient behind those guys. So it's a credit to him. And a lot of people in his situation could be frustrated, because, they won't kick to him on the punt and punt returns. We haven't been able to, have the exciting plays that he normally has, but he's been still Corey, and hopefully, the next couple of weeks we can get him healthy and keep him fresh, and we can see great things from him in the playoffs.
Turn that pony loose and let him run, right?
Well, this is some big weeks for him. He's going to be our groundhog for sure. I mean, our workhorse. And he does a great job with it. But like you said, Tom, I don't know if there's a running back in East Tennessee with his size and capability that can take the hits that he can take and get back up. I mean, it's just a credit to him and his toughness, and we're just glad he's on our football team.
We're talking to Shawn Witten, of course, the Shawn Witten Coaches Show. Like it and share it, and you have been. I want to say thanks to and a big shout out to Chris Hensley. Chris came up Friday night and said, "Hey man, I watch this every week. I love it." So hello to Chris and Tony Briggs and Jennifer Johnson. The word's getting out, and we appreciate that very much. So once you see this, like it and please share it so folks all over the country can watch this, and they do. And hey, maybe the big guy down in Dallas will
Yeah.
watch this. So here's some numbers for this great school. The overall record, 375 wins, 203 defeats, and 2 ties. The man to my right here is 93 and 38 overall, 79 and 29 of the regular season, which is phenomenal, and 14 and 9 in postseason. And we're going to add to that coming up here in a couple of weeks. Here's the numbers from the game the other night. Carter Everett, 9 for 13, 107 yards passing. Corey, as Coach alluded to, 3 for 4. 34 yards passing and a touchdown. Rushing the ball, 21 carries, 60 yards for Corey on the night, rushing the ball. Receiving, Evan Perkins, 4 catches, 74 yards and a touchdown. Keelan Hall, a couple of catches for 26 yards. They held Ryan Wetzel to 2 catches for 18 yards. But again, that was our offensive side of things. Then, Coach, look at the defensive side. Nestor Grubb, 7.5 tackles, a tackle for loss. Kilroy Hill, 5 tackles, 1.5 tackle for loss. And then Joseph Collins. 5 tackles. So the defense, really, for all intents and purposes, held a high. Well, they come in averaging 40-some points and held them to 20.
Well, our
24.
our defensive preparation was spectacular. I thought that our corners did a great job of containing the fast screens that they use. Greenville's a well-oiled machine. They got a lot of great football players. They got 2 big receivers that can play, and they got 1 kid that can go that leads the league in receiving, that can really go vertical, and Crawford, and they didn't even challenge us at all going vertical. So I thought it was a lot of respect and well-deserved credit to our kids. It just goes back to Tom. It's just our kids. We talk about all the time. Our preparation has to match our performance, and it was spot on. We talked about how we had to come out in the game ready to play. Our kids were mentally focused. The things we did over the last couple of weeks really helped our guys, and just really proud of them. And just you're talking about big guys stepping up in multiple big games. And Joseph Collins is a tough guy that's had a nagging injury all year long. That played. Kilroy Hill's a guy that we've talked about several times. That's come on and played extremely well. Nestor Grubb is a inside linebacker that's a senior that really gets us going. And then how about the bigs up front? Continue to dominate and put a lot of pressure on Greenville. Greenville's been able to do a lot of things at will this year. And we made them struggle for the most part.
I thought an interesting point of this football game was right before halftime. They went in to let the clock run out and get on in the locker room. I thought to me that's a sign of respect for this Elizabethton football team. Just get on off the field and regroup for the Green Devils against the Cyclones. So you look at again the numbers: total yardage, Elizabethton 220, Greenville 237. Passing department, we held them to 73 yards, where we had 140. We had 80 yards rushing, they had 164. So again, the total 237 Greenville, 220 Elizabethton. Third down conversions last Friday night, we were 8 for 15, they were 7 for 14. So all things said and done, 24-10 win over Greenville. Congratulations to the Green Devils, they earned it. But Coach, who's to say we won't get a return visit down the road?
Well, we hope so, Tom. We hope that we got a lot of football left to play. And there's there's going to be some tough teams ahead. We got one this week against Sullivan South that we renewing another great rivalry that we've had a lot of great games against. And then, with the new regions too, we're going to get some uncommon opponents in the playoffs, that teams we don't play before. So you never know what those Chattanooga teams are going to be like. And then, now we're going to have to go on the road for the playoffs. We've been so accustomed to being here, at least the first 2 rounds. Now we're going to have to go on the road. But I think that sweetens the pie a little bit, because I really think that you show signs of being good football. Sure, we want to be at home, and it's our backyard and the place where we practice every day, but I think there's something special when you go on the road in people's place and win in the playoffs. And We got a great football team. You talked about it. I think we're still scratching the surface. We're still finding about our guys. We have a lot of guys that are they're accepting their roles, and we just feel strong about that. And our kids are coming to work every day. We know that Greenville's going to be tough. And give Greenville a lot of credit. You got to play 4 quarters against these guys. And I felt that we for the most part we played 3 excellent quarters against them. They were able to kind of squeeze out a couple good runs and good possessions that are late in the game. But our kids never quit, and our kids can hold their head up high and be really proud of themselves.
Also, before we switch gears and talk about South, I want to pay tribute to your coaching staff. It was very obvious that, and you're blessed with a lot of great coaches. All the coaches are great on this staff, but it was very obvious the game plan. They had a great game plan for Greenville, and so they put in a lot of hours, and your assistant coaches did a great job getting these guys ready.
Well, you can put in a lot of game plans, Tom, but your kids got to go out there and execute it, and then they got to have confidence in it. And I thought our kids did that. With the things that we had on take on prior to the week. We had with Carter's surprising just kind of nagging injury there. You just got to make things and you just got to go with it. But I thought our kids accepted it. Credit their our centers were able to make that adjustment, snapping that ball to Corey. And it goes back to, the things we talked about. The one thing that's most consistent about our football team is we don't turn the football over. We minimized our penalties. We did a great job overall of not giving up the big play. And Greenville's an explosive offense, and you pop on many films and they're just going right down the field, bam, 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 and scoring. We did a good job of making them. I think one of the possessions we made them go on about a 14, 15 play drive, and they went 90 yards to score. So we made them work at it. We made them chip at it. We made them everything wasn't so easy as they may have thought it was going to be or what they're accustomed to. And it goes to credit to our guys. But I'm proud of our guys for accepting their roles. I'm proud of our receivers for making some great catches. And if our kids take out one thing, whether half of them may not believe we're going to win, or whether half of them didn't have confidence we're going to win after this game, I think that it shows that if that's the number one team in 4A, we're not that far off. So there's a lot left to play, and we ought to be extremely motivated for the rest of the season.
Polls are out this week. Again, Greenville State is number 1. The Cyclones dropped to number 6. And South comes to town. Let's switch gears. It's the 34th meeting Friday night. Final game of the regular season at home. Again, 17-16 is the series led by the Cyclones. And so last week, while we were taking on Greenville, they were getting Sullivan East pretty good, 48-21. The other game last week was Granger all over Sullivan Central, 68-12. And Union County had the week off. So the standings look like this: Greenville 4-0, South at 4-1, Elizabethton at 3-1, Granger 2-2, Sullivan East at 2-3, Union County 0-4, and Sullivan Central 0-4 in the conference. Again, the schedule this week: of course, South will be here at Citizens Bank Stadium. Granger goes to Greenville, Central at Union County, and Sullivan East has a non-conference game against Sullivan North. So the Rebels come to town, and obviously Justin Hilton's done a great job turning that football program around.
Well, he has, and with credit to Sam Haiti still staying on staff, being the offensive line coach. There's no question they're a lot better, and we're glad to be playing South again. And with the Ward quarterback, he's the ability for him to stay healthy is obviously the key. He's been banged up over the last couple of years, but this is a big game for us, and it's a senior night for us this week, Tom, and then with fall break this week, and then gives our chance guys get it's a little bit extra rest. But the biggest thing for us is we can't have a Greenville hangover. We've got to be able to come ready to play and send our seniors out with a big win. And there's this point in time you got to continue to play a lot of good football, and I just like to see some extra motivation from our guys. Our guys need to be fired up because they're a little bit down because they're not going to get a conference championship, but I think in the big picture there's something there's something going to better happen for this football team down the road, and just the way that our kids have battled all year long, the way that the unselfishness of our defensive linemen to come over and play some offensive linemen with Big Stewart Guest getting hurt, the ability for our receivers stepping, making plays. And how about the biggest game of the year? People talk about our weakness has been our secondary. They step up and play the biggest game of the year. If that doesn't give them confidence, I don't know what will. So if we continue to stay healthy and we just got to come out with a big win this week and really put it to Sullivan South.
Looking ahead to next week, the final week of the regular season, if you're looking as far as placement, of course, we are in the playoffs, obviously. You have Greenville next week at Sullivan East. South will be at North in a non-conference game. They call that, of course, the Civil War. We'll be at Central and Bluntville to battle the Cougars. Granger and Union County will clash, and so that'll be the final week of the regular season. So right now, as it stands, Greenville, of course, Elizabethton, Sullivan South, and I guess, looking at the standings, Coach, Granger will be that fourth team going in.
Well, Granger's a pretty good football team for us playing them for the first time. They got some kids, they got some good football kids over there that you like to have, and just the biggest thing for us is, you're fighting for second place. But here's the thing, if you finish number three, you're going on the road for the whole entire playoffs. There's no chance for to get a home playoff game. If you finish third, you're probably going to end up seeing Greenville the second round. I think it's better if we see them the third round. Here's what happens. You get late in November, anything can happen. You get weather change. You just injuries. You get you never know what can happen. But when you get where you're the 16 teams left to play in 4A, or there's 8 teams left to play in 4A. There's a lot at stake, and pressure gets put on. And will the pressure be on Greenville? At their place. But playing them round three is going to be a whole lot better than playing them round two, and that's what we got to get done. And so our seniors deserve the right to play at home the first round of playoffs. Make one of those teams from Chattanooga have to drive all the way up here. That's going to be a huge advantage because you're looking at a minimum of a 3.5 hour drive. And so this game, there's a lot at stake against South because the loser is going to have to go down the road, to possibly like a East Ridge, East Hamilton, Chattanooga Central. Those are some long trips, Tom. We knew that just going to Union County. So, there's a lot at stake this week, and our guys are going to be pumped up, ready to go. And one of the things we've done this week, Tom, is we got a lot of people going to come in and talk to our guys, and just really talk. We're going to have some former players, some former coaches, some guys that are major contributors in our community, to let them know that they're supporting them, that they believe in them, that they're proud of the way they played Friday night, and there's a lot of big and better things to come. And one of those guys is Big Daddy. Big Daddy came in and talked to him yesterday, and gave them the Greenville story from 1998, which just so happened to be my senior year. We went to play Greenville week 5. They're the number 1 team in the state. We're the number 5 team in the state. They beat us. We ended up seeing them round 3 back at Greenville. And we put it to them. And so our guys are a little bit down, like we mentioned about in the conference championship, because you set goals at the beginning of the year, Tom, and the biggest thing is when you're a goal-setting football team, you want to reach those goals, and when you don't reach those goals, you got to have a plan B. But I really think that there's something bigger and better for this football team down the road, and maybe we weren't supposed to win Friday night, and so that we get our sights set on, something down the road. But I'm awful proud of my team, my coaches. I'm proud of the Cyclone Nation that came out and supported our guys Friday night, and it was awesome, man. I mean, it really was, and I'm proud of our kids for executing the game plan. And there's a lot bigger and better things headed for us. And I, we've had a lot of great teams here in 11 years, Tom. And you find different things you like and you dislike about the teams. And we had 19 seniors a year ago, and we talked about going to scrimmage Alcoa in the spring and getting that rematch in the playoffs in the third round, and then we lose to them by 3 points, and we were so close. And then here's this football team. How do you replace Connor Johnson? How do you replace Johnny Ray Woodby? How do you replace 5 senior offensive linemen? And then here we are again now. And then you start to fall in love with this football team because they overcome adversity. They here's a guy like we talked about. Ryan Wetzel has been in the program 3 years. Cameron Harris, Lucas Holly been in the program 3 years. They've been backup defensive linemen to come over play on the offensive lineman. You talk about Jackson Killian, Kilroy Hill, that have really stepped up at the outside linebacker position. Adam Cornett's a senior, the basketball kid, has come out and really helped us. And then the ability to when the team needs you the most, a guy like Cujo come over and say, Coach, I'll do whatever it takes to help the team win. If I need to play some offensive line, I will. And, those guys did a great job at it for the first game. So it's credit Greenville. There's a reason why they're the number 1 football team. There's a reason why, regardless of classification, they're as good as it gets. There's a reason why they beat Science Hill and Kingsport. And, So our guys are going to regroup, rebound, and get ready to roll.
You're ready for a good South team coming to town. 7:30 kickoff Friday night. The weather a little cooler, so I'm sure it's good for the Hogs up front. It won't be as hot, so they'll be snorting. This won't be snorting as much because it will be a little cooler. But great atmosphere. Come out and support the Cyclones Friday night. Again, senior night to honor these young men that they want to win that final game of the regular season on their home turf, and that's something they'll always treasure and keep for the rest of their lives. So big game Friday night. The band will be there, cheerleaders, the whole kit and caboodle. So be there Friday night. Coach, we'll talk to you next week, and go Cyclones.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it very much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Love this guy. Love this man. Love the Cyclone Nation. They get in and after and behind their football program. That's for sure. That'll do it. Be sure to like it and share it. Send it on to someone else and let them watch this show. We'll rejoin you next week. And as always, for Coach Witten, this is Tom Taylor telling you, as always, win or lose, be a good sport and go Cyclones. So long, everybody.